Hey, it's Dave again from Cheapwinefinder.com. And today we have another actually kind of interesting wine for you that has both really good provenance and is very cheap. And this one is happened to find in Aldi. I wasn't really looking for anything, and I saw Mosel, which is a hint. That's Riesling. The name of this wine is the Raimund Prüm Mosel Dry 2018. And I don't know a great deal about the wines of Mosel in Germany for Rieslings. They tend not to be in the price range which we write about. For Riesling, I normally get Washington State, Kung Fu Girl, and Chateau Ste. Michelle do wonderful $10 Rieslings. They have harvest flavors. They're really kind of nice. And there's Clean Slate that's from Mosel. That's okay. But I actually prefer the Washington State stuff to that, though that's okay. I like that one. But I started looking this up, and this Raimund Prüm is kind of like one of the top winemakers from Mosel. The family winery has been around since, well, over 100 years, and the Prüm family's been making wine for like 900 years. This guy is one of the leading lights. This is, one of the top guys in Mosel. And if you're not familiar with German wines in Mosel and Riesling, I was reading a couple of years ago, one of the big wine magazines was saying that Mosel might be the best wine region in the world, better than Burgundy, better than Bordeaux, better than Napa, better than Barolo, and on and on and on. They said the wines there might be the pinnacle of wines. And like I said, I'm drinking Washington State wines. I like them. They're fruity. They're beautiful. These Mosel wines are kind of, you have to know what you're doing a little bit, or at least research it a little bit. It was out of my price range. I'm kind of happy doing what I do. And I don't, look to get out of my lane too much, because this is what we do for the last 11 going on 12 years. And I'm going to take a sip because this is actually really a nice Riesling. So the guy's name on the bottle is one of the leaders of one of the best wine regions in the world. The Mosel River, and the banks are very steep, and the vines are planted on the steep hills, and it's got shards of slate in these things in the hills, and they're so steep that they pretty much have to use machines to pick the grapes, and it's not that easy to go tending the vines. Jack and Jill went up the hill, and Jack fell down and broke his crown. I think that came from Mosel. And so it's a very interesting wine region. And this is from like a taste of Mosel. The Raimund Prüm, maybe, I don't know. Luckily my German's every bit as good as my French, so we're in luck. But he's one of the leading guys there. So it's from a lot of contracted vineyards. He has his own vineyards too. Might be some from there. But when you're one of the top guys and he asks you if you got enough extra grapes. He knows who to ask for the extra grapes, and they're not going to say no. So it's like, wait a minute. This is a good thing that this man has his name on the wine, because normally speaking, and actually, and Aldi and Trader Joe's are both German companies. They have contacts in Europe, and they have huge contacts in Germany. So he's inclined to work with them. But normally speaking, when you have like with both Trader Joe's, anytime you have a contract wine for a store, you put their name on it. They come up with a dummy name for the winery, and then they make up a label that is they just make the label up so you don't know who made it. And very, very often, really big name wineries are making Trader Joe's, Aldi's, Costco, even Safeway. When they have their own brands, there's a really good winery behind them, but they don't tell you who it is. But here, this guy puts his name on it, and he's not just some guy. He's like one of the top guys from Mosel. that's a really, really good sign. He's not going to put his name on something that didn't come out well. That was, oops, it didn't quite work. Oh, well, pretend it wasn't me. No, you can't. There's no hiding here. So this is a quality wine at a ridiculously low price, because $6.99 is even inexpensive for Washington State. You can get really nice Chateau Ste. Michelle Rieslings for $9.99 and maybe on sale a little cheaper, but this is $6.99 straight up. And I'm going to take another sip. This is a subtle one. It doesn't jump out at you. And it's got, the nose is subtle. Everything about this is subtle, but it's all even. It's all balanced. Yeah. The more I drink it, the more I like it. It probably because the wine's opening up too. Because that's the mark of a good wine, is it takes a while to open up. Like some wines taste good from the get-go and they never get any better, but that's not a bad thing. They taste good from the get-go. Why? You can't complain about that. But when you get a wine, especially an expensive wine that evolves with time and as the air goes through, that's actually a good thing. And that actually is part of like the acidity. And, it's part of the winemaking techniques that it takes a little bit they made it complex. So there is something to open up. Often with inexpensive wine, they make them not to be as complex as they possibly can be, but to come together quicker. And to be, fruit forward and fun to drink. But this one's got the quality level is the main quality level. There's 2 quality levels above it, but at $6.99, just the main one is perfectly fine. And if just from various places in Moselle, not the leading districts, or maybe some from leading districts, I don't know. That's fine too. At $6.99, you don't expect it. There's got to be some reasons why it's less expensive than the most expensive ones. And the most expensive ones can cost hundreds of dollars. And Mr. Prüm, his normal wine, his normal base wine is like a $20 wine from his own vineyard and everything. But, he's still making the wine. And there's one truism about wine. Like for almost every single thing about wine, there are exceptions. It's like, you can't put your finger on anything and say that, this is a rule, because they never are, except for this. Good winemakers make good wine. Great winemakers make even better wine. That's the truth. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how fancy your grapes are going to be. It doesn't matter how much status it has. You're going to make a good wine with what you have. You're going to figure out, especially when you have the opportunity to pick from different vineyards, and you can, take your time to make your wine, and you're going to make something good. And that's what they have here. And this is, I don't know how many, this has been around, I think out for like 6 months. So I don't know if people have figured out that this is there and they've come and got it. It might be a little hard to find, but it's the Raimund Prüm Riesling 2018 dry from Mosel, Germany. Pick it up. It's a good Riesling. It's crazy inexpensive. It's well made. It tastes great. You're going to like it because it opens up and it evolves, and it kind of gives you an experience of a more expensive wine for a happy, fat, and juicy wine. So there you go. Aldi's is kicking some butt. 3 cheers for Germany. Don't know what the next wine we're going to do. I haven't figured that out yet. But we'll come up with something in a few days. And adios, keep it cheap. And I'll be talking to you. This is Dave, over and out.